women are so interesting. So interesting. I think like I
Yeah,
find women, at least from my experience dating, like very territorial. It's very not to the point where they
yeah,
get into a fight. Like I don't date those type of women anymore, but it's
right.
always this is mine and that's the
Yeah.
energy I give off, right?
Yeah, which is interesting too, because I think that people view that like if men are possessive like that, it's an aggression, right? But if
Hmm.
women are, oh, like it's cute. So that I don't know, it's a weird double standard thing.
It is. Like I've seen it. Like online, it's all toxic, right? Like they get into brawls, men, women and women, right?
Yeah.
But now that, at least from my perspective, and I'll get yours, like the longer I'm in a relationship, the more I can see it. Like I can see a couple walking and you can see the woman will give off the energy like this is my
Oh.
circle. Right? And that's it. And it's just like I'll get like the nudge. You're like, did you feel that? I was like, what is it raining? Like
What if
she's like, no, that girl, like that's her man. Right? And then I'll look, and then all of a sudden she'll turn around. She'll be like, I was like, whoa, okay, like I guess that's for men and women.
what? That
Yeah, like
I
have you ever
don't
come across
know.
that where you felt that energy from like another couple where it's like, this is our circle, don't cross that energy barrier.
I can't say that I have, but my husband has pointed out he notices stuff like that. But he's more of like a he can read people better,
Hmm.
and it depends on the day. So, sometimes I might think everyone is just horrible. Depends on how long I've been in the car. Sometimes I believe that everyone is just nice and wonderful. This
Hmm.
means I haven't been behind someone who can't drive. Probably I have a better view on people for that day. But he, yeah, he's the like, he can look at people and kind of read them. And I'm like, oh, like I pay attention to my surroundings because I don't really trust anybody. But as
Hmm.
far as that, like, I'm not, I'm not looking into people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe you're the person that gives out that energy,
Oh, maybe.
right? That's why you don't notice it in anyone else because they're like, oh my gosh, she's coming. Let me not even look in her direction.
No, seriously. But it's funny that you say that because I like anyone who knows me, like no one's ever told me that like I'm mean, right?
Hmm.
But I am a generally aggressive person. And my husband told me when the first time I came to his job, like all the women were scared of me. And I was like, why? That's stupid. And he's like,
Telling people who's scared of you that's
that's
stupid.
stupid. I was like, why? That's stupid. He's like, because you have a really like aggressive demeanor. Like I was
Yeah.
like,
See, it told you
me?
you're that. So you're the person.
Me? I
Yeah. See,
guess.
that's why you can't sense it because you give it off.
Oh, wow. I
Well,
mean,
your
that's
husband
not the
said
first time
that.
I've heard that, but it's
Yeah,
not the
the
first
people at
time I've
work
heard
said
it,
that.
but.
Yeah, yeah, you walked into a workplace and all the women are like, "Oh my God, here she comes."
Yeah, but then he was like after like I started talking to people, they were like, "Oh no, she's really nice," which is yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't intend to. I don't know. I guess it's like the resting bitch face. If we're not having a conversation, or if like if someone looks at me, I'm gonna smile, but I'm not just walking around like, "Hey,
All teeth.
everybody." Like, why do I need to do that?
Perpetual grit just
That looks kind of
Joker
psycho,
face.
right? Like, if I
Yeah.
saw someone walking around like that, I'd be like, this bitch looks a little crazy. Why?
You'd run. You'd run. Wouldn't you run? We've seen enough slasher horror movies. You'd run.
Right, right.
Like, I know what you
No
did.
one should be that happy.
Yeah. Look like, I mean, what's in the trunk of your car?
Exactly, exactly. What are you trying to hide?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
See, I'm not
interesting.
trying to hide
Energy.
anything. I just look mean.
Yeah, yeah, just the energy I give off. Energy is an interesting thing. It definitely is an interesting thing. But yeah. Seems like you're that girl.
Oh well,
You're that
thanks,
girl.
I guess.
Hey, hey, that's my man. Don't even look this way.
No, I'm not. I'm also like if I think a girl is like pretty or she's got a fat ass or something, I'm gonna be the one to like,
That's a
you know.
trap, man. That's a trap. Eyes to the sky. Eyes to the sky. That's what I did. I was at an auto show with my partner, and this girl walked by. She had a big butt. I was like this. It's like I can sense it, my spidey senses, right? She looks at me, she looks up, she's like, I know what that means. And she's like scanning to see where where it is. She's like, I know what you're trying to avoid. I was like, what? Avoid what? I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
didn't
I'm just,
I didn't see anything
yeah,
to avoid.
just the design on the ceiling. Do you see that design? I want that in our house. Like, it looks nice. Eyes to the
No,
skies, gentlemen.
this is, and obviously this is no shade to your partner. I don't know them, and even
Mm.
if I did, like whatever. But
Okay,
I don't
shame.
know. I kind of have the I kind of have the like the opposite philosophy because I feel like if
Mm.
you prevent your partner from like simply looking at people, they're gonna go and want to look at people. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
I
agree.
don't sit
I
here
agree.
and like drool over people, but if I think someone's attractive or something about them, like oh I like their hair, it could be male, female, whatever. Um, oh I like that feature about them. Oh they have a pretty smile, whatever. I'm gonna point it out. I might even say it to them. Because men and women both, you give a random person a compliment, it changes their whole day, even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
I love when I see other tall women, I'm like, hey, nice height. And they're just like, oh, thank you. Like little things. I'm not gonna be like, hey, nice fat ass, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Mm. Yeah, shake that ass, girl. Let me see those cakes. Okay.
hey, hey.
Just start popping it there, twerking right there. Husband's like, is this a setup? This is entrapment right here. This is,
Look up, look up.
look up, look up. Yeah, like at this point, like I make a joke about it, but I agree. I think people need to understand that once you're in a relationship, everyone doesn't become ugly.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you can still find like, that girl's cute, that guy is cute. It's what you want to do. Sorry, it's if you're going to do anything with that, right? Like that
yeah,
guy is
yeah.
cute. I can't wait to get in bed with him. Your husband's like, what? Whose bed? My
See,
bed?
that's a little different. That's
That's
a
a little
little
different, right?
different.
Yeah, but that guy's attractive, that girl's attractive, and you both keep it moving. I think sometimes the people who probably have a problem with it either were like victimized by it, like their partner left them to go
Yeah,
pursue that, or
yeah,
deep
yeah.
down they know that, hey, if I get the opportunity, that girl, that fat ass at the auto show,
Right, right, right.
right?
Because I've
Yeah.
never, I mean, there was a certain restaurant that we like to go to a lot, and there's a waitress there that we both thought was very attractive. We had a running joke, I wouldn't mind, but neither one
Mm.
of us would ever like actually do anything. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it also comes from being secure with your partner.
Yes.
Um, I've never really been the type of person in a relationship to be like, "Are you cheating on me?" Like, not that I don't care, but I feel like if you're cheating on me and that's not what I want, then we just end the relationship. I mean, I'm also divorced. He didn't necessarily cheat on me. That wasn't the reason we divorced,
Hmm.
but I've just learned throughout different relationships in life that all right, if my expectations aren't being met and if you are breaking my boundaries, then we just end the relationship. So if you want to go have sex with someone else, cool. We aren't married anymore. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
so
Is it a deal breaker for you?
cheating like without my permission, yeah, yeah.
How do you
Now
cheat
there
with permission?
I guess it wouldn't be
I'm
cheating
just
then,
trying to
right?
make
Like
notes here. Hey, she said this. Can we try this? Terms and conditions?
she she is a relationship coach and she said this, so like we gotta. We got to adhere
Yeah.
to it. No, I mean, for me personally, there are kind of exceptions to certain things. Like I can't have any more kids. So we have
Mm,
talked about like a second wife before for the purposes of creating children.
mm,
Now, I also don't want to raise any more children. So she would also, and that's why I say second wife, because she's going to be doing that. I don't want to do that part. So that's where like a surrogate or something wouldn't work for me because then I'd have to raise the kid.
mm.
And I know that sounds a little selfish, but I've been a parent for almost 26 years now. So it's like, I feel like I can be that way, you know?
Of course, I say that's
um,
self-care.
but and then say we've been married 30 years. Well, he'd be 69. He'd be almost 70. That's weird. Well, I don't know. Say we've been married 20 years. Uh, and we're both kind of, do we want to stay here? Or, like we give each other permission to go on a date,
Hmm.
whatever, just to, or take a separation and see. I think that's acceptable. I think it really depends on your level of communication because um when it's cheating, and that's why I say like if I didn't agree to it, then no, that's a deal breaker. But if it's something that for whatever reason we communicate about and that is acceptable, okay, then that's the boundary and that's the rules that we put out. So is it a deal breaker as far as going out and cheating? Yes. And then we sever that and we just move on. Um, but there are conversations available, I guess.
Hmm. There's someone I used to date. She couldn't have any more kids when I dated her. She had two at the time. And we had that
Mm.
same conversation. I was like, hey, if I want to have children, I know you can't have any. Would you like let's have a conversation about maybe like a surrogate, right? She's like, why do you want to have sex with other people? I was like, oh, I guess that's the end of that conversation.
I guess so.
Right?
Right.
Right? Yeah, I didn't even say sex. I just said, okay, you can take my sperm, that person's egg, and do whatever. But in her mind, it was automatically sex with someone else, which would
Yeah.
mean cheating, right? And then as we talked about it more, she was cheated on before. So for her, it was just triggering her
It was a
bringing someone
psychological thing.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's all she
Yeah.
heard, right? She didn't even hear. She
Right.
couldn't think about another path to get that child.
Right.
It was just, oh, you want to have sex with someone else. So,
Right. Well, and I I don't I guess it does it goes hand in hand with trust, right? Because it was in that conversation, it was me who said, okay, what you would have to have like some kind of relationship with this person because we have one child who is adopted, and that there's issues that come along with not knowing your birth parents, right? Or not having that connection. So it would be preferable if you're going to have kids with someone to have a relationship with that person, even if it is some kind of agreement. But they would need to be in the child's life. I don't know that I'd be okay with this unless that is that okay. We just decide to go with a donor per se. You know what I mean?
okay,
Like
yeah,
someone
yeah,
a surrogate or whatever, but then you need to hire a nanny because then that goes back to the issue of I don't want to raise any more babies. Um, so it was really me who said you would have to have a relationship with that person because for that child's benefit and for mine. But that doesn't work for everybody. And I don't
yeah,
know that we're gonna do that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like was just a conversation. But I liked that we could have the conversation and it not be this jealousy thing because also I feel like if you're having the conversation with that person to plan these things out, then like he respects me and how it would affect me and my opinion on this and all that kind of stuff. And I trust him to follow through with that. You know what I mean?
yeah. That makes sense. And that's probably the key to everything. Like in anything in life, especially relationship, is a conversation piece.
Absolutely.
Um, that brought up something else because I don't know if you shared this with me, if you've interviewed or spoke to people about this, but I know I have. The polyamorous.
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Like, is I'm not necessarily your current situation, but have you ever thought about that being a part of your life at any point in your life?
Um, yeah, but he wouldn't go for it. Even like the purpose of that second person would be to have kids. Like
Hmm.
it's not an option just to have more than one wife to like just to have sex with or more than one person because that's a very emotional thing and
100%.
you have to be able to equally give each partner the same kind of attention, affection, respect, trust, and everything else, and everyone isn't capable of that. I mean, some people try to be, it might fail, it might
Hmm.
succeed, but that's not something that he is admittedly capable of doing, So,
No,
um,
no, but it's fair, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, for myself, do you mean like
Like not even now,
me,
like
like
just any
partners for
point,
me?
yeah, any point in your life, not necessarily now, but like any point in your life. And I'll give you my answer as
Yeah.
as well. Like
Mm, I mean, I haven't thought about it, but it would have to be for some kind of benefit. You know what I mean? Like,
more
and
than sex, you're
and I don't,
talking.
yeah, like I don't know what that benefit would be because I don't want to have more kids, so it wouldn't be like the familial expansion aspect. So I don't know that it would. Now, previously, earlier in life, maybe,
Hmm.
um, but I don't know that it would have any benefit for me currently or in my current relationship. You know,
I didn't
I
think
wouldn't
about
be
it
I
until,
wouldn't, but I'm also bisexual, so that could be men or women. So
yeah, that's
um
true.
maybe. I don't know. I think if something like that were an option, it would be later down the road and it would benefit both him and I. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
I
I
don't
see.
know that it would be like, oh, like if, we weren't together or something. I don't know because I don't really think like that, but it would have to benefit both of us if that was the case.
Yeah, like growing up for me, like I always thought that it was wrong because you're introducing someone into a marriage situation.
Right.
I didn't really start thinking seriously about it until I started interviewing and talking to that people from that community.
Yeah.
Deep down, I still think it's unusual, and it's not to shame anyone that does it. I just think it's just an
Right.
unusual course of action. But it's not something that I would do, simply because it's hard enough to take care and satisfy one woman,
Yeah.
right? Two,
Yeah.
three, you know what I mean? Like this is not the biblical days of the kings that had seven wives and
Right.
all this other
Right.
stuff, right? There was a couple that I knew. They had a conversation about it. They talked about it for a period of time. It was the woman that suggested it, and they both had kids together, and they brought someone, and they agreed that okay, we're going to participate in the events. So they went out to like the clubs and things like that. And just out of curiosity, I would ask them, I was like, okay, so what happens there, right? Because this is my freak brain that's speaking right now,
Yeah.
and they're sharing this, and then I was like, hmm. So I pulled the guy to the side because I knew him too. I was like, just help me understand this man to man. He's like, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I was like, so your wife is in there with every hole being dominated right now. He's like, oh, I don't want to think about that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to think about that? That's exactly.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to think about? I'm like, so when you go in there, do you just close your eyes and pray that you don't hear her? Because men
Right.
in general, we think about those things, right? Oh my God, my woman is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's your partner where there's always going to be a level of respect because the community is respectful. But at the end of
Hmm.
the day, it's a sexual experience, right? So
Right.
you don't know which side of her is coming out here because she's able to engage in that way. And just like she may not know which side of you is coming out. You could be throwing the girl up in the air. You could be doing backflips like this is Top Gun. You could be doing all this nonsense with her, right? And then you both get in the car and you guys both drive home and you share the same bed. Juices, liquid and all, right? But they brought a third into the relationship, but they brought that person into the home. and it changed the
Mm-hmm.
entire dynamic of of the marriage as well as the family structure, right? Because you have two kids that are now observing this.
Yeah.
Eventually, the man and that third person, they stuck together and then they went their separate ways, leaving the wife and the two kids. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because sometimes I'll ask her, I was like, so you introduced this situation, it was all your idea. Do you feel a sense of like guilt or shame? She's like, well, I enjoyed the experience and no one could predict that happening. And that's true. You can't predict it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, she was able to bounce back. Now she's dating, she's full-fledged in it. Because now she's on the other side, right? Instead of her bringing someone
Right.
into her relationship, now she's being brought in and she's enjoying that part more.
Okay.
So it's interesting how
Yeah.
it's turned around for her.
Yeah. Those polyamorous relationships can be successful, right? And
Mhm.
and polyamory is not to be confused with polygamy, but it can be successful if, just like any other relationship, you have communication and you have common intentions. Because if your intention is, well, I just like having sex, then I want to be able to still have sex with other people while I'm in a serious relationship. Then that's going to benefit you, right? That's not going to benefit your partner
Mhm.
in the long run, because really what you're doing is you just want to be able to openly cheat on your partner. Um, but if it's a situation where there's mutual, or there's common, what did I say? Common expectations. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, where there's common expectations and you both have the same goal. It can work. I think it can work. I think it works mostly when it's for a familial structure. And I think that's because you're putting the family and the children and the future at the forefront and not your desires. And I just think long term, that just seems to be more successful. Now, you can have a successful relationship with someone. It's basically just an open relationship at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
I
if
think
if
so. I agree.
if it's just so that you can still be with other partners, it's just an open relationship to fulfill your sexual desires. And I don't know that those usually work out because, there's no healthy long-term goal in place. It's just fulfilling desires.
Yeah, yeah. And a couple of years ago, when I used to have a fitness Instagram page, and I remember someone asking me, husband and wife, asking me if I would be the third. And I was just curious because it was a man that reached out. And then I was like, first I thought, okay, this is like a joke. You probably just want to kidnap me and do all kind of, the horror movie slasher coming
Yeah.
into me, right? I'm gonna be
Right.
some man's basement. He's gonna be, you ever see that scene
Right.
in Pulp Fiction with Ving Rhames and Bruce Willis,
Yeah.
right? With the bondage and everything. That's what I was thinking, right? I was like, no, 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 you're not gonna do that to me. Um, but I started having a conversation with him, and then he was sharing it, and he shared that his wife always wanted to sleep with a black man. I guess she just didn't, right?
Oh,
So it was like more of a
yeah.
fetish thing. And then
Right,
his
right,
thing is he
right.
always wanted to have sex with was it Japanese? Asian. I think it was Japanese he shared, right?
Oh.
So what they wanted to do is they wanted to fulfill that fantasy, and because they both follow each other, he found someone that was agreeing, and I guess I was the missing link.
Hmm.
So I was like,
Congrats.
why me? Yeah, now looking back, I could kind of take it as a compliment. I didn't back then. So I just asked her, I was like, why me? She's like, well, she follows you, this and that. And then he said the name. So I was like, oh, I remember that. It was someone that usually comments on my posts, right? So he's like, when he said that, he's like, I would be okay with that, but I would have to watch.
Hmm.
I was like, okay. I was like, so you're assuming I'm agreeing. I'm like, I'm not agreeing.
Right. Like, you're giving me
Right?
these stipulations to something I didn't say I
Yeah.
was going to be a part of.
Yeah, I didn't agree with it, right? But I share I share that because I find it interesting that it's some people, I guess it is bold to ask people, especially like online,
Right. Yeah.
right? And it should be a compliment, but it's just interesting that I don't know how, from my perspective, how you can't initially feel like you're being used. Because 100% it's a fetish thing. She hasn't been able
Yeah.
to do it. Or, what if it's a man that wants another woman for a specific reason? They're from
Yeah.
Italy or Africa or wherever.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't know how you, in general, can take it as being used. Sure, a lot of guys would be like, oh my God, of course, no strings attached sex. I'm gonna run for it, right?
Right.
Right. But is there really sex that doesn't have any strings attached? I don't know.
Right. Right. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Is that weird? Like I think that's perfectly acceptable. If all
Mhm.
parties are in agreement, right? I don't mean like reaching out, but I think like those situations where, hey, this is a fantasy of my partner or myself, everyone is in agreement and that's fine. I don't think that I would consider that like cheating or anything like that. I mean, especially if you're in a relationship where you've been in a relationship for a long time and you
Mhm.
don't want to end that relationship, you just want to, experience certain things. I don't think it's a horrible thing if
Yeah, I
everyone
don't
is
I don't.
agreement.
Yeah, if everyone agrees, I guess it's just
Yeah,
someone saying that they just want to sleep with you because of the color of your skin.
it is weird. Yeah,
Yeah, like that's what threw me off. It's like if you were single, someone came to you, hey, I've had this fetish, I want to sleep with a white woman that has brown hair.
yeah, yeah,
Right? It just comes off differently. To me. To me, okay, what if I was fat, white,
yeah.
and balding? Like, would you?
But then again, is that's what they're attracted to, right? Like maybe the situation was, depending on how old they were, where they lived, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
maybe the situation was, well, she felt like she had to be in a relationship with this person because that was acceptable, and what she actually was attracted to was not. And so, that's the kind of like the side thing because it's not acceptable, but this relationship is because it happens a lot and not just like in the LGBTQ plus community because obviously we know that happens often because people judge people for certain things. But I think, racially it happens too because, well, maybe it wasn't acceptable for her to marry a black man or whatever the case may be, but it was always something she wanted to do. So I don't know. Like, I mean, me, because I'm like, well, a lot of white women have brown hair. So, like, you know what I mean? But then, even then, it's like, well, obviously, they're attracted to you physically, or they would have picked just some random black guy.
Someone,
You
yeah,
know what I
someone
mean?
else. Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're right. And plus, at the end of the day, it's just someone sharing their preference when we all have a preference. Our
Right.
preferences are right. Like it could be
Yeah.
someone, I want someone that works a job, right? So yeah, you're right. I
Right.
shouldn't,
Yeah.
right? It shouldn't be something that's more serious. Whereas, okay, someone is just attracted to this, right?